Welcome to Poetry Palace TV. I am Tom Beal, and this is my Diary of a Poet series, episode 27. The intent of this show is to read volume 18, Internal Revolutions, poems I've been writing to my late wife since February of 2020. If you're new, it's unfortunate I have not yet been able to read those in a composed manner. It was suggested that I simply start from the beginning so that I may get used to the idea slowly and add a bit more time to my process before actually trying to read those poems to you. If you would like to read along at another pace, the series is available to read for free at poetrypalacegiftshop.com. The producer of this show, as well as other fans, believe the verse in her volume is quite helpful for those who have lost a spouse. And if you know of someone who you feel might be helped, please suggest they check it out. In this episode, we are continuing with volume 15, Solemn Reflections. Number 1094, The Wander of Wonder. Trying to make the most of life, not knowing the correct course. Trying to follow the spirit of things rather than habited force. Wondering how it can get so confused, when in here it is laid out so plain. Wanting to bathe in the sunshine of days, awaiting the end of year's rain. Trying to fit in the scheme of things, not knowing the items of dream. Trying to harbor no ill content amidst this planet of scream. Wondering when the spring will appear, when flowers will not wilt and die. Wanting to exchange the low respects for the selfless fulfillment of high. Number 1095. The reading. I stand here with a microphone in a room of people, all alone. No one's been here where I live. In this universe, I must forgive. Karmic gods need not my let. Those bastard lords never forget. So blame the clouds that had no rain, and I alone caused all my pain. I took the chance once given me and built up bars within my free. I screamed aloud my nonsense cause and rewrote rules that gave no clause. To endless choice that life did gift, in peaceful time my violent rift. But wisdom's sun melted that cloud, and wisdom's rain cleansed dunces proud. Then once a muse caught thoughtless eye, to stubborn rage gave loving pry, showing all along chance had survived, waiting silent by to be revived. So standing here with microphone, I am glad that we are all alone, and thank the some who did not share their disbelief and lack of care. Though those that did have no less right to share the love I feel tonight. I wish you all a brighter day when vision dawns in its own way to show you how the pieces fit and love has led to where you sit. So in the end, it works out best that all the past was just a test to prove your faith and self somehow, to lead you to this here and now. And that is the end of volume 15. So we are moving along quite rapidly through my series. We have volumes 16 and 17 left, and then her verse. And I had hoped not to have to read her poetry to you until next year. I'm doing all this in January and February. So I have spent an amount of time in the days in between my studio sessions going home. I was just telling the people, I don't know what I'm doing at all. So I copied her whole volume offline and pasted it into a word processor, and it was 3,985 pages. And that seemed absolutely ridiculous to me. And then it seemed ridiculous that I couldn't find an easy way just to get rid of the pictures. Then it seemed therapeutic that I had to go to each picture and delete it. And I got to go, I believe there's only like 600, 700 pictures in her volume. So I got to live through our life together a couple of times, taking 1,400 pictures out of that file. And I believe that helped to make me think I could read this to you when I get to it. And then I had to take spaces out, and then I had to read for timing to see how many of those poems I had to actually print to get through 52 episodes for this first year of the show. Then I go back to work, and after 8 months of driving a dump truck, I'll come back and do second show. Hopefully, as long as things go well. So anyway, we are on to volume 16, Dances in the Dark. D-A-R-C is capitalized. It stands for Dreamers and Rainbow Chasers, which was a site I wrote on after Thought Cafe closed. Dear reader, I am sitting in front of the digital deliverance of the Australian Open, 2 weeks before leaving for the anniversary cruise the wife and I take each year. My way of spreading the verse I got to witness come from my pen or keyboard around the world has been to pass out copies on these cruises, like of this, Collected Works. This year, I was about to decide not to, but my grandmother, who had that poem written to her for her 50th, suggested that I continue the tradition, and as she has survived 97 years of life, I try to take her advice. Since all the stuff I have handed out in the past is between 5 and 30 or so years old, I thought I would make a chapbook of the infrequent verse that has flowed since. Trickled? One might come to the conclusion that this verse is best fit for my own reading, as it is so personal. But I tend to think it must be for other eyes as well. Even if the distraction of this action only helps me to make the journey less tedious, it will be well worth the efforts taken. I want to thank my friend Charles, creator and maintainer of darkpoetry.com, for allowing me to use the name of his site in my title, as well as for the inspiration he and his site and the poets attracted to it have brought to me, possibly saving me from fading into silence poetically. If this verse does not fit your particular preferences, please pass it on. As I think I already said before, this is copy number 106. So I haven't made a lot of them, but they are out there floating around. Number 1096, words are going to flow. It's been a while since the verse was let flow. It's so long now it may not even grow. The break was vile. Maybe depression's throw? Is forgotten how, or does current still flow? Inspiration cannot withhold its glow. Contrarily, to action seldom throw. Desperation quivers within its snow. Oh, verily, words are going to flow. Number 1097. Preparing to expose oneself. Paper cutter, 1, turns the sheets to halves. Tactile ecstasy, my spirit just laughs. Paper cutter, 2, hole puncher, I guess. Confetti maker, oh, what a mess. Plastic comb, no hair. Stick 'em in and through. There is not much else I would rather do. Put the verse to eyes, or should I say draw. Wait the snail mail mare, a package at crawl. Nerves are frayed and sharp, jaws have teeth and clamp. Now I am ready, I will go by a stamp. Number 1098, April Fools. Mom turned 70 today, just a landmark along her way. Her mom turns 91 in June. Her mother-in-law, come this fall, turns 97, tops them all. Not too much, my 46 soon. So I guess it is point of view, or haunting only halfway through, if I'd not smoked like a buffoon. Number 1099, but for the few. The state of things remains the same, just more people and baubles and flair. Technology has changed the name, and there is so much more than freedom there. Global scriptures, a click away, a short study to see it's the same. Still used for excuses to slay, though not now even holy by name. Schemer redeemers laud its flair, but can't replace what they take away. 10 millennia have been there. There's just a smoother ride on its sleigh. Number 1100. Happy birthday. 7 years since you hunted me down. Hope you are still enjoying your prey. Sorry your bad boy turned out a clown. I'm doing the best, what can I say? Seems you got the short end of the stick. Isn't much I can do about that. Stay here and love you through thin with the thick. Fast so my sit down does not end me fat. Take more bike rides your last 50s year, and the suite I ordered on your ship. More time camping so summer is dear. Maybe a few more shots from the hip. Let me know if you have any needs, and with wishes and wants do the same. Keep on dancing, I'll follow your lead. Oh, and thank you for taking my name. I don't have a lot of bad poetry. I mean, I guess that's you guys' opinion. But there's certain ones I cannot read on television, and some of them are actually some of my best poems. A quote from Stephen Hawkins. It has some swears in it, so I can't read it. But I love the fact that I wrote him a tribute poem the day after he passed. Another good reason to check out the site, poetrypalsgiftshop.com. Number 1105. No great poem. So I got out the laptop, but the strongest signals are secure. Yeah, she gets pogo evenings. Chances for a landline are obscure. No more email notices, so PM me if I should respond. But I am still here reading. See the poetic garments you've donned. And writing in the dump truck any scrap of paper I can find. Rode the bike in this morning. Loaded it at 410 in the blind. Mostly I have a notebook for a couple years just in case. This year might be different with all you poets right in my face. Not at all in a bad way. I think the rhymer had died again. Not as bad as the 90s. It was close to 10 years silence then. But now there is no great poem that I feel I must write yesterday. Just me and words I play with and moments of my life I display. But this incidental to messages of gods and flowers, ascended each day by various poetic powers. Number 1006, my best angle. They say practice makes perfect, maybe in a billion years. Thousands of poems later, my hopes are still left in tears. Number 1107, middle-aged. Smashing tile into tiny pieces, drinking ale and doing karaoke art. Got hippie hair and Garcia beard. The project trickles into its third weekend. Quiet without nephews and nieces, the kind of quiet that seeps into the heart. Father's Day morning is hairless weird after clippers hum while gray locks descend. Living this life of short-term leases, just learning the grateful of taking my part, seeing the empty of all things feared, feelings the comfort of wounds allowed to mend. Number 1110. Oh, I'm sorry. I've come to an end and didn't even realize it. Thank you very much for joining me for this episode of Poetry Palace TV. I hope there was something that caught your ear. Please feel free to check out the website, and I hope to see you next week. Adios.